Tech News Weekly is sponsored by GoDaddy. Get a .com domain name for only $2.49 by using offer code QUEENS at checkout.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech News Weekly, your source for all things technology. Everything that happened in the weekend. Boy, was it a busy week if you're a gamer. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm joined by John Bubb, as I meet you every week. How you doing, John?
Hey, Andrew. How's it going?
Going great. I'm enjoying my day. It's Friday. I'm starting to relax. I'm starting to end the week.
Starting to drink?
Not yet. This is coffee. This is coffee.
All right.
Not yet. No drinking yet. And this week, we have Nick. Nick Craig is back for his second week, and the second time he's been on the GFQ Network. How you doing, Nick?
I'm good. How are you, Andrew?
I'm doing great. Nick is the owner and operator of Craig's Digital Design. It's a website. He creates websites. He creates Roku apps. If you're looking to get a Roku app, if you're a podcaster, he's the guy to go to. So I fully endorse Nick on his projects. Also known as Greg. Some people call you Greg also, right?
It's fun. I got an email from a client who knows that my name is Nick, and he accidentally put Greg in the subject and then sent me another man. He said, "Oh, sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to write Greg." It's like, whatever.
Maybe you should go by Greg. Maybe like your internet persona should be Greg.
Just change everything to be Greg Craig.
Greg Craig. I think it's a perfect name. The reason why we have you on again this week is because last week, first of all, we got a lot of comments. A lot of people were excited that you were on. A lot of people follow your podcast. And this week we had you on because, guess what? The Xbox is here. And you did the midnight rush to go and buy it.
That's the Xbox One, by the way.
What was that?
Yes.
It's the Xbox
One.
Xbox One. What did I say?
You just call it the Xbox.
It's the Xbox. What do you want?
It's Xbox One.
Okay, the Xbox One. The Xbox One. So tell me about your experience with, going and getting it at midnight.
So I've done the midnight release thing before with video games. I've never done it with a console before. Normally, you go half an hour, an hour and a half in advance. You wait in line with everybody else. And then once midnight hits 12:01, you go in the building, they hand you your game, and you leave. And that's just how I thought this Xbox One launch was going to be. But it was a total disaster at my local GameStop. It took me almost 40 minutes to get my Xbox, and I was number 21 in line.
Why so long?
They had to go into the back for each console box had a sticker on it and a serial number. So they had to have the sticker on the console had to match the sticker that was on your receipt. So they had to go back there, get your games, get your accessories, bring it out, put it in a bag, and then let you go on your way. And then they checked you at the door to make sure you weren't taking the wrong console. So it was a good 2 or 3 or 4 minute ordeal for every person that went up.
I know a lot of people.
How would they have improved that? I mean, how else would they do that?
I think they should have had multiple employees standing outside and had all the consoles stacked up outside. They had the guy to get the console had to unlock the back door, go inside, grab the console, grab the accessories, and then come back out and then unlock the door again to go back in. They should have had the consoles outside of the door. Just was handing them out. I'm guessing 2 or 3 people handing them out.
I'm guessing they probably did that because of security reasons.
I'd guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know a lot of people that did it, and it depends on the store, obviously, on the organization of it. Some people said it was a really easy, they went in, they were pre-ordered, they were told to wait, they waited a couple minutes, and they got it for them. And I heard other stories where pre-orders were missing, people that had bought them. I've heard people got their pre-orders last night returned to them because they did not have enough for them.
Wow.
So there were people that have actually pre-ordered this device, and they saw the credit card bill, and they saw that it was, reimbursed to them like a day before.
That's insane.
Yeah. So a lot of craziness. Now, the big question is this thing going to break 1 million sales within the 24-hour period? We saw what happened with Sony. Sony sold 1 million units to the end user within 24 hours, which I think is a phenomenal number. It's the best that they've ever done.
That's huge.
It's the best that they've ever done. I think they sold somewhere like 600,000 last time around for the PS3. Nick, do you think this is going to be up there? Do you think they're going to have 1 million Xbox One sold?
I don't think it's going to be as close within 24 hours. I think primarily because of the timing. I mean, you look at the date. It's November 22nd. I mean, Christmas is a month away, and I think a lot of people are hesitant to go out to the store and spend $500. And a lot of people at the midnight launch were saying, hey, it's $500. Christmas is a month away. It's I think a lot of people are just going to wait and get the console for Christmas. So I'm not sure if they're actually going to hit that million within the first 24 hours.
I was talking to John about this a couple days ago, and we were talking about, all the things that have been released, and I've spoken about it on the other podcasts. I don't think we have had a time where so many products have been released around the same time period. November has been a humongous month for releases. We've gotten the iPad Retina Mini. We've gotten the iPad Air. We've gotten the Xbox, the PlayStation, plus a whole slew of other tablets,
But
the Nokia tablet, Surface.
It's not every year that a new PlayStation or Xbox comes out.
It's not, but in previous years, what we've seen is, okay, the Xbox comes out, that's the holiday item. The following year, the PlayStation comes out, that's the item, and then the Wii comes out, that's the item. And I really believe that that's strategic rather than it just being a timing issue. There's a reason why we've had a console come out individually. You don't want to be bulked in with the other stuff. It's like when a big movie comes out. You don't have two blockbusters out at the same time. I don't know if this is going to be a positive thing or a negative thing. The other question is, if there was no Xbox coming out this year, how many more PlayStations would Sony have sold?
I think they would have sold a lot more.
Absolutely. I think so too, because look, I'm a guy that, I go out and I buy them all. I buy every one of them because this is what I do. I know a lot of people that are not, big techies. They like the consoles. They like playing the games. And one year when the PS3 comes out, they'll go buy the PS3. And the following year, they'll go buy the Xbox. Now, a lot of these guys have decided which one they're sticking to. You're either a PlayStation guy or you're an Xbox guy. I think that the line has been drawn now.
And here's the thing, though.
Yeah, John.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, go ahead, John.
I'm just thinking about this in the time frame that they have to do things. Whereas, well, if either of these companies, either Sony or Microsoft, had waited a year to release theirs, they would have been a year behind. And they also, or if they had moved it up quicker, what would have been happened then if they weren't ready for this? I mean, it just so happens that they were both ready around the same time.
I think that them both being ready is going to end up being detrimental to both of the companies in terms of console sales.
Right.
And I mean, it's tearing the gaming community apart.
Would you have told Microsoft or Sony to wait a year or 6 months before they released theirs?
I mean, Sony waited a year last gen. The PlayStation 3 came out a year later than the Xbox 360. And I mean,
nobody
they still
should have
recovered
to
from
wait.
that.
If your console is ready.
Don't you think that it would have been better for them to split them up even 6 months? I mean, you are tearing the gaming community apart. Having these console launches so close to each other, you are taking people that are fans of both consoles and, like Andrew said, forcing them to pick a side, and that's just not good.
I think they'll still, even in 6 months, if they decide they want to try something different, they'll do something different.
I don't know, John. I really think that now. I know a lot of people that have had multiple consoles. I know a lot of people that have had, I mean, even dating back when it was a Genesis and Sony and a Super Nintendo thing, you've always had two. If you were a gamer, you had two of them. Now I'm noticing that these guys, they have picked a side because this is a big investment. And you also have to remember, you're investing in the titles, and the titles are $60, $70.
Yeah.
I do feel that it's not a. This is only my opinion. I feel that if you're buying this thing, if you're buying the PS4 and you got the PS4 first, I don't see you buying an Xbox. I think you are now using a PS4, and the same goes for Xbox.
At least for right now. I think maybe next Christmas or holiday time, maybe even next summer, we'll see the people start flipping over. But like you said, for right now, you're either Xbox or PlayStation. You're definitely not both, because both of those consoles together is probably close to $1,500 with games and accessories.
Oh yeah, I was looking on Reddit, and I was following this guy's thread about how he waited online and he got it. He had 6 games he bought.
Yeah,
that's $450.
Yeah,
Plus the
those are
console.
Yeah.
Plus the console. So now you're talking about $1,000 investment. Plus you're going to get another controller. So you're talking about an $1,100 investment into the hardware. The odds of you and going and also pre-ordering an Xbox around the same time are very low.
No way. Nobody's
low.
got money for it.
Yeah. John, I mean, you're a little different in this situation because you're not a gamer. You don't play games. But with talking to you, you're more interested in the Xbox than you are with the PlayStation 4. I think the advantage that Microsoft has when we're talking numbers is people like John that might buy this thing because of the media consumption that they might do on this device.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the advantage that Microsoft has. So let's actually talk about it. Now, you have the Xbox, Nick. Give me your overall opinion of what's going on.
I'll cover a few quick things. First thing, the online service. The online service has been flawless since the console launched. The online has been very good. It's been consistent. The day one update, which a lot of people were hesitant about, is the update that you had to install for the Xbox to actually work. That update would finish in about 10 minutes. That was fine. The dashboard layout, it's very Windows 80, which personally, I'm not a huge fan of Windows 8, but I like the style. Games or movies or whatever play in the background while you're browsing the dashboard. The design is good. It's quick. It's snappy. You can the Kinect is great. The voice command is great. The camera is great on it. It's just generally a good system overall.
Now, what about the online capabilities of it versus the PlayStation Network? Which one do you think is going to win out in the end?
I think Microsoft's got this, and the only reason is because they've had 7 years to work on their paid membership online service. If you remember back to, I believe it was 2 years ago, this time, PlayStation Network on the PS3 was hacked and it was down for a month. And Sony has been just kind of recovering since then, since they launched their paid subscription service for online. So they're 7 or 8 years behind in terms of online power that Microsoft is currently.
Wow.
Yeah, and we saw what happened the first couple days, and I know people are still experiencing problems on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, and the Xbox wasn't down at all. I did the update last night around midnight or around 1 a.m. I played online around 1 a.m. I got up this morning around 10, and it was up flawlessly without any issues. It was great.
Now, going from the 360 to the Xbox One, what are some pros and cons that you've noticed, or maybe there aren't any cons?
One of the cons is the console takes a decent amount of time to boot. This thing takes almost 13 seconds to boot.
Okay.
And this isn't just my console. This is everybody's console. It takes a little bit to boot, and that's something that I guess is fine. I mean, 13 seconds, not going to complain over it. But you turn on the console, you get your Xbox loading screen, and it just kind of sits there, and you're wondering, all right, is this thing actually booting, or is it frozen, or is my TV frozen? What's going on? So the boot time's a little slower, but it's the performance is so much better. I mean, it's so much snappier when you're clicking on things. They're popping up right away. 30 frame a second video games are playing in the background while you're browsing the dashboard. So the terms of speed, it's definitely a lot better than the 360.
Are you experiencing anything different with the gameplay? Like, talk about gameplay. What's that like compared to the 360?
So I did the $10 upgrade to Call of Duty Ghosts for the Xbox One, and I had it on the 360. And to be honest, I didn't really see any difference in video quality. Yeah, it was great. It was a little bit better, but in terms of playstyle, it was exactly the same. The controller is just a little bit different, which takes some getting used to compared to the 360 controller. There's just some few minor differences between these controllers. But other than that, the gameplay is almost exactly the same. There really isn't anything too great about the gameplay compared to the 360.
So let's talk about the interface. They've really become when you're booting this thing up and you're using it as a gamer, are you seeing it as a console, or are you seeing that there's a lot of multimedia interaction on this thing? They're really pushing it. If I'm not a gamer and I turn this thing on, am I going to say, okay, well, this is great because I could consume all my media on this, or am I going to say, okay, this is a gaming console?
This is a media device.
Okay.
If I had a screenshot of my dashboard, there's two tiles for the video game. One says play disc, and then one says the game that you've installed. Everything else is Internet Explorer, YouTube, Netflix, any other apps, Skype, SkyDrive. This is a media device, and this is a really good living room machine.
So someone like John buys this thing, hooks it up. Do you think he's going to be happy with using it as a media device?
Oh, for sure. For sure. If he's got it on a big TV out in the living room, he's going to love it for that. That's exactly what this device is supposed to do, and it does it great.
I'm curious about a couple things, like the voice command. I've heard people complain, saying that it's not accurate. It doesn't pick up your voice. The voice commands are a little messed up. That was actually a big thing going into it with the reviews that people did. But speaking to you off the air, you said it was pretty good. You didn't really have any issues.
Now, I don't even know where the off button is on the Xbox. I've just been shutting it off with voice commands. You say Xbox, turn off, a little dialog box pops up and says, are you sure? You say yes, and the system just shuts off. So with my experience, maybe this is because the Microsoft servers, the voice control has been great so far. Haven't had any really major issues with it.
And you said something interesting. You're turning it off, and Microsoft has sold this thing as this is the device that you keep on. You don't need to turn off.
Yeah. See, for me, I'm in kind of a weird situation where I don't have to hook my cable box up to it. I have my cable box hooked up to a TV across the room, and I play the Xbox on the monitor. So for me, since I'm not using the HDMI pass-through, which is a big feature for a lot of people, I really don't have any reason to keep the system on 24/7.
And you have Time Warner Cable. Is Time Warner Cable on the Xbox?
Their app is not on the Xbox yet, but I believe their guide integrates with the Xbox One Watch TV app.
Interesting. I'm really interested in this device. As people know, I am pre-ordered, so I could go and pick it up. I haven't, and I
still haven't decided.
No, I've decided I'm selling it. I'm not keeping it. But I'll probably get one next week or the following week once I sell this one. But I couldn't say no. The offer was pretty good to sell it. Anything else, Nick, with this thing that kind of stood out to you? Do you see them? Are there anything that they need to fix? Is there anything they need to patch in the coming weeks?
What about this story about the buggy disk drives that some early adopters are reporting? There was an article or some people commenting on the NeoWin forum saying that they have an issue with the disk drive where they put in their disk and it'll make a bunch of noises and then just spit the disk back out.
I've read that. I haven't had any experience with that. The disk drive's kind of weird when it loads. It's almost like putting in a car CD. You put it in, and it draws the disk in and drops it down, and when you eject it, it pulls it up and ejects it. So it's a lot different from the current tray system that we have on the Xbox 360 because it's just a slit on the front of the console instead of a tray.
Okay.
Now Twitch is not on there. That was a big thing that was announced last week.
Well, Twitch, the app is on there, so you can view Twitch TV, but you can't broadcast Twitch TV.
You cannot broadcast.
Right
and
now.
That was a big selling point for the device. A lot of people were interested in just streaming directly from there. Why? Do you know why it hasn't been implemented yet?
I mean, I would assume it's probably partially Microsoft's fault, but if anybody watching the show knows anything about Twitch TV, they are so unreliable. I mean, they have at least 3 hours of downtime a week. They're constantly, like in the middle of the day, their set will just go down for 3 or 4 hours. They're not consistent. So, of course, it's probably a little bit of Microsoft's fault, but I definitely wouldn't just put it all on Microsoft.
Yeah.
There's got to be some API issues with Twitch that are still being worked out.
This
apparently Sony has it going pretty well, and a lot of people are saying that, well, the deal breaker for them is Twitch streaming, and that's why they're going with Sony's PlayStation 4 versus the Xbox One.
I don't know. I mean, I know that they were talking about Ustream streaming also was going to be integrated in these devices, and I haven't heard anything beyond that.
Yeah, Ustream really isn't the gaming market. It's more Twitch. I believe the PlayStation 4 can do Ustream and Twitch TV right out of the box.
Okay,
I know that for a fact.
It's interesting. I mean, this is a totally different spin on the gaming thing. Obviously, another thing was at the end the deal with the NFL. That's a big deal for the Xbox also.
Yeah.
How is that going to go? I know you're a big football fan, so how does that really work with the Xbox?
I believe the NFL app is the NFL subscription service that they offer. It's their NFL Sunday Ticket. So if you have Sunday Ticket, I believe you can sign in through your Xbox and watch it that way.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I really want to get it. Now, my other issue is I need to get another TV. My bedroom TV's from 2007. The one in my living room is even older. They're flat screens. They're big, flat screens, but I want to get the latest and the greatest so I have a real good experience with these devices. So that's the other thing. I also have to go buy a TV now, which is going to cost me $1,000 plus that. So I'm looking at almost $2,000 to spend because I want to have an Xbox.
Wow.
It's insane. I am weighing. I am gonna weigh. To kind of go
I
away
have
from.
to spend all this money. I need a new big screen TV. I need an Xbox One.
I do. I do. I don't know what to tell you. I do.
One quick thing about the Xbox One.
Yeah.
There is Skype, and I don't think I told you this, Andrew. I don't believe you were here. The Xbox One has the Skype app comes pre-built with or pre-installed on the Xbox One. And the first time you open it, you sign into your Skype account that you would sign into on your computer, and it asks you if you'd like to link it to your Microsoft account, and it gives you Skype Premium for free as part of your Xbox Live subscription.
Oh, interesting.
So I believe Skype Premium is $5 a month, so I can now make outgoing calls in the U.S. for free. I can do group video calls for free. And I don't know what the other features of Skype Premium are, but your $60 a year Xbox Live membership now gets you I think it's $30 or $40 a year Skype Premium free. And I just got an email from them today about it.
You know what I was going to ask you? When you're talking, so like the in-game chat with players, how different does that sound compared to the 360? Is it better?
To be honest, I haven't used it yet. I haven't used the party chat either because really nobody I know has the Xbox One. It comes with this headset right off the bat, which isn't anything too great. It's a little bit better than the one that came with the Xbox 360, but it's a pretty crappy headset. And the adapter, which in my opinion is really stupid.
What is that?
The size
is
of
that a
thing.
USB adapter?
It's like half the size of a USB cable, and it plugs into the bottom of the controller. But the adapter's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes up the whole bottom of the controller. I think this is the chat option on this Xbox is horrible.
Yeah, I'm curious because I remember it was awful when I used to play. It sounded awful, but since they bought Skype, I'm imagining they've integrated it and it's a lot better, the quality of it.
I'd hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. To kind of step away from the Xbox stuff, I want to talk about something else, and I always found this interesting. Motorola has inked a deal with 3D Systems to build a modular cell phone. I don't know if you guys saw that story a while ago. We spoke about it on the show, and the concept is that they're removable parts, removable components to the cell phone. So if you buy a cell phone, for example, and you're noticing that you need a little bit more CPU power, no problem. You just buy the little cartridge and it just slips right in and it clicks in via magnets. If you want a better camera, you just change the camera. If you want bigger battery, you know what? You could have something with a gigantic battery. It's an interesting approach. I know this is not for the mainstream. Most people don't want to fiddle around with different components and different parts, but I wanted to get your opinions on this to see if this is something that you would be interested in getting. So pretty much this is a serious customization of a phone. You could swap parts out. You could add more stuff. You could remove some stuff. If you don't care for the CPU, get one with a lower CPU and you add something else. I wanted to get your opinions on this if you think this is something that could become a reality. I found it interesting, first of all, that they've actually pursued this. A couple months ago, they were talking about possibly doing this, and now they are going to be doing it. It's a multi-year deal between the two companies to build this customization. And I wonder if this has to do with the fact that the Moto X has been very popular as far as a customized cell phone. Now they're just going to move to the components. John, what do you think of this?
You're going to me first on this?
Yeah. You don't want me to? I'll go to Nick.
I don't know. I can talk about it. It's just you already know my answer.
Yeah,
We
no.
just talked about this.
I don't know your answer.
In all honesty, I think this is pretty much a novelty gimmick type of thing, and it's just so hard to take this seriously because there's still a lot of unknowns about how well something like this is actually going to work. Yes, the Moto X is somewhat popular, but at the same time, how is something that's completely modular going to work? You're saying that they're going to be able to literally take off the CPU and put on a different CPU.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine how all this is going to work, and I just don't see it working very well.
How about you, Nick?
I think that similar to what John was saying, when you're just like when you're building a computer, I mean, if you're constantly swapping out opponents, stuff's either not going to be compatible or you're going to have issues with the device crashing. But I think, if you want to do something really, really niche with this device, like, maybe a portable broadcast phone, right? You put a monster CPU on this thing, you put an audio card and a great battery. I mean, no camera or anything, but now you've got yourself a high quality audio device recorder, and it's kind of a phone, but that's the primary goal of this device.
See, I think that's the whole point. Where first of all the components are most probably going to be supported because they're all Motorola components, and it's going to be supported on that type of phone and whatever drivers it's going to require. But this is where I find this interesting. So let's say I know that I'm going away for a couple days. I might take away everything, put just a regular CPU on there, a lower end CPU, but I might put a gigantic battery on this thing. And that may be what you need it for. I just swap out the battery. I know I'm going on vacation. I may get a big adapter for the lens, for the camera, and I just put a new camera adapter on that thing. I think there are different scenarios that, at times my phone is fine, but at times it's not. And I kind of wish that it had, a little bit more, maybe camera capabilities, maybe a little bit more better battery life, maybe a faster CPU. And for someone that, likes to play around with this stuff, it may be an interesting project.
Sounds expensive to me.
Yeah, I'm curious on how much the modular,
if you're talking about, all right, I'm going to have several different parts that I can interchange with this at any time that I want. You're talking about parts that are probably going to be, a couple $100.
Yep. No, I was reading this somewhere, and I can't remember where it was, but I remember reading stuff like it'll be like $20 to $30 a module.
I'm not buying that.
Well, it kind of would work. You pay the full price for the phone, and then every time you want to get a module, you pay a couple bucks, maybe $35 for a camera. Maybe you get a better CPU for $40. I don't know. I think it's a fascinating concept. I think it's an interesting concept to do because this has really never been done.
Yeah, right now it's a concept.
Yeah.
That's just it. It's a concept, and a lot of times concepts don't always necessarily work out very well. I'm just very skeptical about this working out the way that you think it's going to work out.
I think it can. Listen, it's a very niche product, obviously, and it's not really something that a lot of people are going to want to get. But for someone like me, I might pick it up.
Yeah, this is for the geeks. I mean, regular people are not going to build their own phone. I mean, this is for people that are really looking to do something niche with the device and are into the whole hacking things together.
It's funny that they compare this to the Moto X, which is a customized phone. By customized, I mean you could, pretty much make it whatever color you want, and it's been very popular. But that's like a mainstream thing to do. A lot of people, the average user doesn't really care about the CPU, but they do care about the color. So this is the complete opposite of what they are customizing on that phone. They're taking it to a whole new extreme where they're saying, okay, not only can you customize the color, you could also customize the CPU. It's weird. I mean, it's interesting to me. I don't know. I think it's something that a lot of the geeks will like, but who knows if it'll hit market. John, go into a story. I want you to pick something.
Word of the year, ladies and gentlemen, it is, ready?
Yes.
Selfie.
Selfie's a word of the year.
Selfie is this year's word of the year. It's beating out other words such as Bitcoin, lab meat, and everybody's favorite, twerking.
What's a lab meat?
I have no freaking idea. I know what twerking is, and I know what Bitcoins are, but I have no idea what lab meat is.
Hey, Nick, what's lab meat? You're hip.
I'm Googling it. I've never heard of anybody be like, hey, what's going on, lab meat?
Hey, lab meat.
According to Oxford Dictionary, they're saying that the word selfie is up 12,000% this year alone.
Oh, lab-grown meat. That's what lab meat is. Lab-grown meat.
I've never heard anybody say that.
Oh, synthetic meat. Schmeat.
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 I have never heard anyone ever say lab-grown meat.
Now, do you know that the only reason they put that in there is because it's you're like, well, what is this lab meat thing? It's like some hip term.
So it's no saturated fats, no hormones, no it's cultured meat. Seems to be potential benefits. So this is weird, but I've never heard anyone bring it up ever. Now, Bitcoin, I could understand that. Which actually John and I had a discussion about Bitcoin, and a lot of people still have no idea what that is. Selfie, I know a lot of people use the term, but do you think these weird terms every year should be added to the dictionary? I think it's bizarre.
Why not?
I'm surprised twerking didn't make it.
I mean, it's kind of a word to play on words, but it's I can see it because it is technically a word describing something, so you have to have a definition for it. So I kind of get it, yeah.
I want a twerking in the dictionary.
Thank God that made it into at least the running for this.
Now, I'm a little disappointed because this is nostalgia for me. This is a link to my youth. Winamp, the media player of your college years or your high school years, is shutting down next month. The AOL-owned MP3 player will close up shop December 20th, and they're done. I mean, this is amazing that they're done and they're killing the player off. They were number one for many years. They were the choice of many people. For me, Winamp was my main MP3 player. It did a lot more stuff than any other player at the time. And now, I mean, it just shows you in 10 years how much could change, and they're finished. John, were you a Winamp user?
I was in the early days before they even went to like version 5.0. When they were in like version 2, I was using Winamp.
Yeah.
But that was kind of its heyday back then.
Well, after version 3, it got a little bloated. That was the problem.
Yeah,
version
they
3
started
got bloated.
adding all these the browsers and everything that's integrated into it, and it just kind of made it a bloatware. And they just had trouble trying to find a way to monetize it that was going to be decent. But they never really did, because that's the problem is with a lot of these products that you start getting for free, you get hooked on them, but then they'll start adding malware and adware and spyware into the installers to try and get you to install their toolbar or something else when you install it. And people just really get turned off by that.
Now, here's the other question. What happens to Shoutcast?
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Shoutcast done now, too?
What happens to I mean, it's
well,
Nullsoft.
Shoutcast is open source.
No,
it?
No, it's AOL.
It's
AOL.
Their directory is AOL.
Well, Icecast is open source, so there's always going to be Icecast.
There's Icecast, but I mean, Shoutcast is the big one, and they're part of Nullsoft, which is part of AOL. And if you go to the Shoutcast website, which I am right now, which let's let it load. There you go. Guess what? Winamp everywhere. So that's a big story on what happens to this.
You're also trying to talk about what's going to happen with Winamp after this. Is this something that they're going to try and make open source and just give away for free again, or?
I mean, look at Thunderbird. When they announced that they were no longer going to be supporting and killing off Thunderbird, it's like, everybody started freaking out. But I mean, I still use the program. I don't really notice any difference with it. They just probably won't be supporting it anymore.
How long is but Thunderbird is still updated?
Not by them.
Not by them. And there's talks that Microsoft may buy Shoutcast and Winamp. That's another story that's coming out today.
That would be a great move on their part.
It would be possible that we could see Winamp make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. AOL bought them really early on, too. I don't know if you guys remember this, but they bought it for about $80 million in 99.
They completely mismanaged it.
Yeah, and this has been this was one of the first major acquisitions from AOL, and this kind of started that whole AOL purchasing of all these internet properties. But $80 million, I remember it was a big deal when they bought it, and a lot of people were concerned that this was going to hurt the way that Winamp has been run by Nullsoft. And you know what? They were absolutely right. It did hurt it. I think that after they were purchased, it really kind of fell apart. But you know what? You know who's really glad? The llama. The llama is so happy that they're going away.
You love that llama.
This poor llama. Poor llama. I don't know. It was kind of like
name, the poor llama.
The poor llama. It really got his ass kicked by Winamp for many, many years. Poor llama. I don't know. It was a story. I was actually surprised to see it because it was one of those properties that it couldn't have been costing them a lot to run, but who knows? I mean, it could have been just hemorrhaging money for them for many years. I don't know. John, go into another story.
I kind of want to get your guys' opinion on this Major League Gaming stuff. I know Nick is big into gaming, and I know a lot of people are really getting into this esports thing.
Yeah,
where people will broadcast their games, and people just sit there and they watch it. Major League Gaming is one of those big esports players out there right now, and they've just launched MLG.TV. Not satisfied with their ability to broadcast on YouTube alone or other outlets, they've now exclusively launched their own online portal called MLG.TV, borrowing some ideas from broadcast television. So now they have basically their own thing. They were just not particularly happy with ESPN or YouTube streaming.
Nick, do you watch any of the MLG stuff?
Yeah, when they do the big events they do one in Dallas, they do one in Charlotte every year. I watch those events. I think it's 3 or 4 days of gaming. They're pretty cool events to watch. You see, the cool thing for me being a teenager and playing the same games that these people are playing is it's like, the person playing on screen is like 3 years older than me, and look at how much money they're winning. It's kind of like, well, wouldn't that be cool? It's more of just looking on that and saying, that'd be cool if that was me.
Is it like a realistic thing? Like, I wanted to be in the NBA when I was in high school because I played basketball, and then I realized that that's never going to happen. Is this like a realistic thing for someone like you that games to say, okay, you know what, I can make this a professional career?
Yeah, and a lot of these people started off with a YouTube channel. They post some extremely good gameplays on YouTube, and then they get recruited by a team, and then next thing you know, that they're going to these events every few weeks and winning money and stuff like that.
God, I'm doing the wrong job. I really
Yes,
am.
you are.
I should have kept on with the video games. I mean, I was a big StarCraft player. I was a big
StarCraft's
gamer,
good,
guys.
yeah.
Big
We
gamer.
could have done our own esports network.
Yeah, we could have. That's what we could have been doing. I could have been playing StarCraft and been amazing and been making money. But no, I had to go and get a job and buy a
You
house.
want to do this radio thing.
I had to get a real job, like playing radio.
Wait, so you wouldn't have bought a house if you played StarCraft too?
No, I would have been living in my mom's basement playing video games. That would have been my career. And I could have had like a lot of cool stuff, like plasma TVs everywhere. I could have spent my money like a drug dealer. Just bought plasma TVs and boom boxes. That would have been my future.
You could have bought Winamp.
I could have bought Winamp. I could have done
You
that.
had so much money to buy Winamp.
Yeah. John, what is this Chinese company offering free cloud storage for the U.S.?
There's a Chinese company called Tencent, and they're saying that, or they've announced that they're going to offer 10 terabytes of free cloud storage to U.S. residents. This is something that I'm just finding peculiar, I think is the word that I want to use. The fact that, right now they're offering mobile cloud users an application where they can store a terabyte of storage stuff right now. But now they're going to say that they're going to offer 10 terabytes for free of cloud storage to U.S. users.
10 terabytes, not
10
gigabytes.
Terabytes.
Terabytes for free.
Yeah.
How can they afford that?
Yeah, how
That's
can...
exactly what I'm wondering. There was a story, I think, either this week or last week, where I was reading that everybody remembers Bitcasa. Bitcasa said that they're going to have this unlimited cloud storage service, right?
Yeah.
Bitcasa is now saying that they're going to charge a yearly price
Of $900.
of $999, almost $1,000 for their unlimited cloud storage service. So if you're taking that into account, where you're basing whatever this 10-cent company is going to do, 10 terabytes of storage compared to Picasa's Unlimited, I'm assuming it's going to be somewhat of a similar service. Eventually,
I'm
they're
guessing
going to
that
start
too.
charging you money for this.
Yeah, I'm guessing the same thing. That was an interesting thing because I know a lot of people were excited for that. Oh my God, it's unlimited. And then now it's been a year later, they're getting hit. They're saying like, well, if you want to continue using a service, you got to pay, $900 a month or whatever the crazy thing is. $1,000 a month. And now these are people that have been committed to using it. I mean, who knows how much stuff people have uploaded to these services?
Absolutely. Now, do any of you guys have concerns storing your data like this on a cloud server or a company that's Chinese owned?
I have issues personally. I have issues storing it on any cloud service. You don't know what they're going to do with it. You don't know what's going to happen to them. I mean, I obviously have my photos on Google Cloud Storage, and I use Dropbox. But any other party, any other country, even that to use their service for this, you don't know what could happen. I mean, you remember RapidShare? A lot of people used to use RapidShare to put stuff on there. A lot of it was pirated, but they ended up handing over all their accounts to the government. all these people's information, everything that you've ever stored. So you don't know what could happen with anyone, but I'm really careful.
I just assume make
with
my
what
own cloud.
Yeah, listen, if something is that delicate for me that I don't want people to know or I don't want people to see, I don't store it on the cloud. You know what? You know what's a great way to store it? You take a disk or you have a backup hard drive and you put it on there and then you forget about it.
The thing is that most people don't necessarily always have access to a large amount of storage, and they might want to have a large collection of something, but they don't necessarily have the storage means like we would. Like, well, if you let's say you have an iPad, which really you're looking at 32 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes, or 128 gigabytes of storage. Well, what happens when you need more than that?
Yeah, what happens? What do you do?
I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, techies like us, we can easily just go build a computer and put in however big hard drive we want. And if we even need to, we can add more hard drives.
Absolutely. But a lot of people can't do that. You know what else is interesting? I know people now with iCloud, right? They've been using iCloud for about 2 years, and they keep getting a pop-up that says that you can't back up anything because iCloud is maxed out. iCloud is maxed out. And they don't think to upgrade it. They just hit OK. And now they're dealing with the fact that, oh my God, I blew my phone away and this, or something happened and all my pictures are missing. All my stuff is missing because iCloud hasn't been backing up in maybe 6 months, 7 months. So that's also a scenario too. Like even with the 20 gig iCloud account that I have for Jess, she's maxing out that iCloud account.
20 gigabytes is not a lot.
It's not a lot, but
when you're trying to keep your entire phone backed up online, you're talking about, over 30 gigabytes.
Yeah, sure. Listen, I think 100 gigs is a normal number. I think if you have 100 gigs of backup, I think it's going to be difficult for the average person to, kind of max that out. But 20 gigs is not much. And a lot of people are now maxing out even on the 20 gig, and they're not thinking, I should upgrade to 50, or they're thinking, well, I don't want to spend the money and upgrade to 50. So now they're just not backing it up. They have this maxed out cloud drive, and when they blow away their phone, their photos are from a year ago.
Yeah.
So I do think that you have to be responsible, even though it's a cloud-based service and you're putting your stuff on there. You should also think about Plan B and maybe store it locally. Maybe grab some stuff off once a year and just put it over there, and then you still leave it on the cloud. At least you have it. I don't know. Practice safe computing, everybody. Nick, do you do a lot of the cloud stuff?
I don't really necessarily do it with these cloud services, but I've been doing the FTP server thing. I bought an FTP server host with a lot of storage, and that's how I do my backups. I just throw it all up on an FTP server, and I guess that's considered cloud. I can't access it from every device, but I mean that's backup.
But maybe you don't need to. You don't need to access everything. You know.
I mean, if I really do, I do have an FTP app on my phone. But if I really need anything that bad, I'm probably home at my computer using it. So.
Yeah, Nikki in our chat says, move the photos and videos from the iPhone periodically. You have to. And I think a lot of people forget about this. Yeah, you're getting a 16 gig hard drive. You forget about it?
I forget that I have 30 videos on my iPhone right now that I've shot that are just stupid little crap that I should just go in and delete.
Hey, what happened with your iCloud? You had a problem with iCloud, right? Is it fixed now?
I figured it out. Yeah. Well, what happened is that I got a new computer this year, and I didn't realize that iTunes was still very much connected to my old computer. So I was trying to do this photo stream thing, and it was never going to my computer. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And finally I realized it was going to my old computer still, even though I was signed out and everything.
Yeah.
I was signed out of that computer and signed in on my new one. It was still going to my old one. So I completely removed iTunes from the old computer, and now it's working just fine.
It happens. You live and you learn. One step at a time, guys. With that said...
Is that what they tell you in Alcoholics Anonymous?
That is what they tell me in AA. That's a joke, by the way, and I'm not making fun of AA. I'm not making fun of AA either.
Andrew hates AA.
I'm not making fun of it. A lot of my friends are in it. I guess they're not anonymous.
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, that kind of does. Why don't we do our picks of the week, guys? This is the point of the show where we talk about a product, hardware, software, a website, anything that we liked that week, something that stood out for us that week, and we feature it on the show. And if you guys have a pick of the week, I'd love to hear from the audience on stuff that they really like. This is the holiday season. A lot of people are buying new stuff. A lot of people are trying new stuff. So I want to hear from you guys as far as what you like that week. Maybe we could have like a section on our website, John, in the new year. I know we're working on a new website, big secret here at the GFQ Network. So maybe we could add like a community page where people give us their picks of the week. Maybe we could figure something out. I think that might be fun. But
sure,
we're going to do our picks of the week now. Nick, I kind of have a feeling what your pick of the week is, but I'm going to let you go first, and maybe you can subscribe me. No, surprise me. You want to subscribe
that
me, Nick?
drinking problem?
Yes,
Look,
yes,
can't even talk anymore.
I will subscribe to your podcast.
Thank you.
I'm not actually going to, my pick of the week's not actually going to be the Xbox One,
Ooh.
but it's going to be the Xbox One Smart Glass app. And I'm running this on my Android tablet right here. And this is basically what the Xbox One dashboard on my computer, or on my Xbox One dashboard looks like. And as you can see, I can click on these different apps like that. And you can see it says play on Xbox One. So this is the second screen experience that we've all been talking about for how many months now, that you're watching TV on your Xbox One, you're using the HDMI pass-through, and you're browsing games, you're browsing the guide right on your phone. So that's my pick of the week, is the Xbox One Smart Glass, available on iOS, Android, and Windows RT.
Yeah, it's available everywhere, and I actually have it on my iPad, and it does work with the 360 also. And it's actually one of the prettiest apps that Microsoft has ever made, in my opinion. It's a beautiful interface. It's a familiar interface if you're familiar with the Xbox, and it works really well. So yeah, like Nick said, as a second screen experience, this is the thing you need for your Xbox. Great pick, Nick. I don't think we've ever done that one on the show. I'm surprised we haven't.
Yeah, if you're downloading it for the Xbox 360, there's two versions. There's Xbox Smart Glass for the Xbox and Xbox Smart Glass for the Xbox One. So make sure you download the right version for your right console.
Very cool. John, what is your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is an application for your iPhone or iOS. It's called eBate, Cashback and Coupons. It's the holiday season, so of course you're trying to look for, the best deals on stuff. Black Friday is coming up. Why not have an application on your device that you can use to find some of these deals? The eBate application has lots of stuff on there for you. It has discounts for Sephora, JCPenney, Kohl's, Home Depot, Overstock, Coupon, Walmart, Newegg, as you saw in the screenshot. If you shop at any of these stores, you can just go in, look it up on your phone and see if they have any coupons for the stuff that you're buying. One of the cool features of it, of course, is that you can actually scan products in the store and do some price comparisons. So if you want to know what the price of a product is in, let's say, Target, but you want to know what it is at Walmart, you can easily scan it, take a look, and see what the price is. It's pretty cool. You can also do online shopping with this and get cash back, which is really cool. If you sign up, you get a $5 bonus on your first purchase, which is really interesting. Like I said, it's the holiday season. You can do a lot of cool stuff. It's got top deals. If you know what the hot deals are from your favorite stores, you can do double cash back from mobile shoppers, price comparison, push notifications, and even social sharing. So if you want to share a deal on Facebook or Twitter or even iMessage, you can do it all right from the application. It's a very nice application, and definitely it's something you have to get if you're looking for a good deal.
Very, very cool. My pick, John, is pretty similar to yours, but not as complex. I'm big on the Black Friday deals. One of the best deals I ever got on Black Friday was for a plasma mount, a wall mount for my TV. I believe this was probably like 7 years ago, when these things were still pricey. The cheapest that I had seen was like $100. There was a Black Friday deal on, I think it was like buy.com, and they were selling them for $6. I bought like 6-7 of them, and I gave it to relatives that I knew that were getting a TV. The one in my living room, you're thinking $6, how great could it be? This thing is super sturdy, super good. It's holding up my really heavy old plasma in my living room. So after that, I kind of got hooked on getting good deals on Black Friday. And in the past, I've recommended websites like dealnews.com that always highlights really good deals. But out of all the websites for Black Friday deals, something that has really stood out is Amazon this year. Amazon has done a phenomenal job at highlighting all their Black Friday deals. And they have early deals for Black Friday, obviously. So it says there's a countdown to Black Friday deals. deal weeks, 1 day, 10 hours, so you can see that happening. And I'm looking here, for example. Let's go. I'm scrolling down, so it's constantly changing. There was a great TV deal that I saw that I have not seen a deal like that for a while. It was an LG 50-inch flat screen LCD 3D TV for $449, and it was a really good deal. TV originally it was like $1,200. It was $400 something dollars. So if you are looking for a great deal, you should look at Amazon. People forget that Amazon has these great deals all the time, and they're doing this Black Friday thing for a couple of weeks leading up to it, and after they're going to be doing it also, guys. It's easy to kind of overlook it, and the great thing is next day shipping. You have Amazon Prime, you're going to get the shipping too. So rather than go into all these different websites and trying to see when you're going to get it, try out Amazon first. I mean, I'm a big user of Amazon. I always recommend stuff on Amazon. So look, Nick, look at this. A GeForce GTX 650 Ti, $150.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Not bad.
The other good thing about Amazon, just in general, is they constantly have deals. Like there'll be a Wednesday in the middle of April, and it's like, oh, look at this TV that's $50 off or $150 off. They always have great deals over at Amazon.
Yeah, so I recommend Amazon, their Black Friday deal section. So if you're looking for some sort of deal, leading up to Black Friday, and try out Amazon first. I'm a big. It's sick how addicted I've gotten to Amazon. I can't talk again. I think it's all the coffee, or is it? I've really gotten hooked on kind of buying stuff there, and they also have Cyber Monday deals coming up. I'm trying to find that TV. I don't see it now. Maybe they finished it. Look at this.
I think they do deals hourly on there.
Is it real? Is that how it works?
Something like that. They have a set period of time for each deal.
Yeah. Okay. So that's probably what it is. So, constantly check there and update it and look. All right, guys. That's it for today. We're all finished. I want to thank Nick once again for coming on. Nick, we're going to have you on a lot more in the coming years.
Cool.
In the future.
Years?
Yeah, the future. Maybe in 2015. Years. Yeah, maybe in 2015 we'll have him on. No, I really want to thank Nick for coming on and talking about the Xbox.
Yeah, Nick, when you grow up, you can come back on.
Okay. I will see you guys in 6 years. Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, friends. RadarGaming.net is the website. If you're actually in about 2 hours, 3 hours, you're going to be on the air. You're going to be talking about gaming. You're going to be talking about the Xbox.
Yeah, we're going to actually, for whatever reason, we had some Skype issues today. We were going to show the actual Xbox One user interface. So because we couldn't do that tonight, I'll do that at my show at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, RadarGaming.net is the website. Also, if you're looking to get a website made, or if you're looking for a Roku app, if you're looking for SEO, or even consulting on a website, your website is?
CraigDigitalDesigns.com.
Perfect. John, people can follow you on Twitter at Suncast, obviously. You're here on the GFQ network. People will reach you at Suncast on Twitter. People can follow me at
Suncast with a K, by the way.
Suncast with a K, not a C, but a K. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Zarian. I'm on there. I'm just doing weird stuff on the internet on Twitter. So if you like weird stuff, you can follow me there. Also, you can subscribe to our podcast wherever our podcasts are available. Also, guys, let's not forget, if you want to help out, if you want to contribute to the GFQ network, if you want to see us constantly improve and constantly add stuff to the network, use our Amazon affiliate link. It's gfq.co/Amazon. That's gfq.co/Amazon. Every time we make a purchase with our Amazon link, we got a tiny little credit. I think it's like 6% or 5% we get back. And that really helps out. Every time we need to buy a new camera, every time we need to buy a new microphone, we just use our Amazon link, and we're able to do our upgrades with what you guys have given us. So I want to thank you guys that are using it. And if you're not using it, go ahead, try it out. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost you anything. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We'll see you all next week on Tech News Weekly. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble.